Всем здорово, дорогие друзья! С вами Гейминг. Виделись полчаса назад. Вот. Так, начинаем смотреть. Будем помогать вам с носком, если что. С носком я по Дискорду. Он в чатике, у меня стоит победителя, куплю иконку. Мировые финалы. Так, дядя. Вот эту хрень сейчас надо увеличить, чтоб мировой финал. Интересно, кто выиграет $1 000 000. Ну, точнее, 600 тысяч. Это всего призовой фонд $1 000 000. Так. А чё звука нету, дядя? А, не, этот звук я выключу. Это сейчас права копирайтера дадут, спасибо. Так. Донатер можно, но без звука. Я тебя заглушу, и ты меня слушать будешь, но другие нет. И я тоже. Наверное, прикольно поют. Мы этого не узнаем. Интересно, какого мужичка в базика запихнули? Объемненького, наверное. Да закончите свою песню уже, бесите. Права копирайтеры дадите мне сейчас. Так. Если что, прайс-лист доната я уменьшил. Если хотите, можете задонатить на того же Модера, либо задонатить на, чтобы в друзья добавиться, там уже намного дешевле в 2 раза. Ну, не начался, а должен был 6:00. Сейчас у меня все мое, скажем так, вся моя округа смотрит это. Так. 330 рублей модер, да. Он повысился наоборот. А то мне сказали, что мне маленькая на него цена. Теперь скажут на этом стриме большая. Чекай просто носок. Он меня слышит просто через Дискорд, нам так быстрее. Он меня быстрее будет, если там что-то надо будет. Он поймет. Большая цены. Ты что, таджик, что ли? Ладно, сейчас изменим. А то таджики уже обнаглели. Так, что там, чем не начался? Сделаю на полэкрана. Чтоб таджики не мешали. Ай, где мой калькулятор? Модератор, да? Хорошо. Сделаю 100 гривен. 165 рублей. Модератор. 165 рублей. Все. Сейчас поменяется цифра. Надо будет обновить. Все. Давай, иди сюда. Так. Так, все. Цену понизу на 1 рубль куплю. Не, спасибо. Большая цена, на те русские, просто большая цены. Ха-ха-ха! Носок лучший. Топчик. Кстати, а что там наш этот? Так, случайная выдача добычи. Забрать. Неплохо. Сок, а ты знал, что так можно было? Прошляпишь, вообще кайф будет. 100 гривен модерка, да. В рублях 165 рублей. Там 10 очков дают бесплатно. Случайная выдача добычи. Я понял. Да, ты меня слышишь через Дискорд, можешь... Не, ну пиши лучше в чат, потому что Дискорд у меня на компе читаю, я чат с телефона. Так, смотрите, сейчас будет фокус, ребята. Так. Сволочь. Сейчас. И сразу, и туда потом. Все, ребят, косарик. Так, все, звук надо можно включать. А, это французы, не я французский не шарю. А, да, кстати, неплохо, можно сделать скрин. О, английским тоже будет говорить, отлично. Так, главное, вот тут главное поменять, все остальное вообще насрать. Сейчас это изменим.
16 teams, 3 days of competition. Only one will live as a champion. I am Damascus. I will be your host all weekend. But without further ado, let's get brawling.
Сейчас, подождите, придумать надо, ты тоже подожди.
Thank you very much, Damascus, and yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2022 Brawl Stars.
Фантазии нет предела.
Joined by Ark, and what a pleasure it is now to stand here at the culmination of an incredible year of Brawl Stars Championship.
This is what it's all been building up to. You know, it's such a great privilege. It's been such a fantastic year for Brawl Esports, and again,
6 минут, серьезно?
I mean, this is where dreams literally come true. It's going to come true for one of these 16 teams over the next 3 days.
Сегодня играют вообще на мама. Мама играет? Нави. Нейшн, блин. А, Нави завтра, понятно, лохи. Давай за рубль продам. Ой, получу. Куплю за рубль, давай. А чё ржёшь? Дискорд ответь. Тебе так быстрее. Первое место. А, сволочи! Фашисты, у них раньше первое место 600к было. 21-й. Вот. Нормально, пупсик. Симулка нормально. Спасибо. Давай как другу продай за рубль. Я никому не покажу. Только в Телеграм напишешь, он мне тут просто не включен, чтобы оно не высветилось.
Matches, and again, there's some fantastic heads-to-heads here, right? We have a clash of our regions coming together for the first time since the MSI.
Мне говорят, что они сходятся в первый раз за столько времени, много, либо вообще первый раз в жизни. Кризис, стремительно чай стоил 1 рублей чашка, сейчас 2 рубля. Что? 1 рубль? Можно мне в России, пожалуйста? У нас 10 или... Подожди, у нас 15 гривен стоила чашка чая. Что? 25 рублей чашка чая у нас стоила? Неплохо. Понятно, ничего нету.
Again, we put our best foot forward with our predictions. You can join us at home over at event.brawlstars.com.
Так, когда играет Нави? А зачем? А, не Нави в турнире, они знаю, не любят Нави. Второй день, ребятки, второй день отвечайте. Это правильный ответ, они во второй день играют. Выбирайте второй день срочно. Я попробую сейчас поставить задержку 0 почти. Задержка потока. Двоечка хотя бы. Не хотя бы, чтобы не единица. Ускорьте сейчас. Ускорьте, сделайте быструю скорость.
From the East Asian region takes on the number 6 seed from EMEA. Zeta Division 1 goes up against Chasmac Gaming EU.
Zeta's Division 1, I mean, we've got to start there. I mean, what a phenomenal team. They've just been so dominant all year long. Chazmak, it's definitely fair to say, are a bit of the underdog in this series, but again, that's not to count them out. They've had some good promises and they've made some good
жду от
adaptations
тебя
along the
способа
journey.
покупки гемов в Телеграме. Он у меня выключен, никому смс-ка не придет. Продавать я его никому не собираюсь, я ж не пей. Не буржуй.
But let's not waste too much time. Let's head down to the stage.
Ярик, здорово.
First of our competitors.
Et allez, c'est l'heure, c'est le moment pour notre premier match du week-end. 16 équipes, beaucoup d'actions sur Brawl Stars. Mais quoi de mieux pour commencer que
Кто
d'accueillir
выиграет
une
этот
mastodonte
матч?
de la compétition. Ils font
Ну, я
partie
думаю,
des grands
что
favoris de
Zeta.
cette compétition.
Да, за Zeta
Ils nous
больше
viennent
всего.
du
Ребятки,
Japon.
за Zeta
Un tonnerre
голосуйте.
d'applaudissements pour Zeta Division 1.
Last year's world champion, Shitambo, joined this year by Margoku, Kenji. Will Zeta dominate again? The list of achievements is endless. MSI champions of 2022, 6 grand final appearances, 4 grand final wins. Snapdragon Pro Series champions, the APAC region, take the stand. And that is indeed a terrifying prospect in itself.
March, April, August, October, monthly finals champions. Like I said, only ever losing to Zeta Division
Это
0.
100% выиграет. Ну да, это понятно. Те 9%, наверное, сами, знаете, был баг такой, что голосовало само за себя. Ну не само за себя, а само по себе. Zeta 100% выиграет.
To get our probably favorite team to take the stage so early in the tournament, and their opponents are definitely the David in this David versus Goliath situation. Let's now welcome them to the stage.
Et leurs adversaires du jour, ce sont les challengers. Ils viennent d'un pays qui n'a jamais été représenté dans des finales mondiales de Brawl Stars. 3 joueurs polonais qui vont venir challenger ceux qui sont les grands favoris de ce tournoi. S'il vous plaît, un max de bruit pour Chazmak Gaming EU.
They are the first ever Polish players to compete in the World Finals. And Rama, Naui and Gero, Coach Philip, hoping to do their
Эх, если бы эти ребята знали, что за них 9% голосуют, они бы сюда не вышли, я вам отвечаю.
Losing a match point to Tribe Gaming EU by a singular bounty star. They are considered by many as the underdog in this matchup.
Минута до
They
этих
can prevail
чипикил.
as the top dog. It will send a shockwave throughout the arena.
This team has had some pretty solid performances over the last couple of months, but there's no doubt about it, Ark. They started on the right foot at the beginning of this year, and then they started to run into a little bit of trouble. Gero comes and joins this team, and Rama believes that he really helps them and allows them to deepen their pool of strategies and increase their communication. This team qualified as Craze Clan and were picked up instantly by Chazmak Gaming Europe, who wanted a representative from that EMEA region. This team got a lot on their plate right now. They come in as a number 6 seed, but again,
GG Мараков.
so
30
competitive. Even
секунд.
at number 6, you can't be sleeping on this team, and I'm sure that Zeta Division 1 aren't either.
Exactly that. It really is the case, and with a lot of background history and dominance in the scene comes a lot of stress, a lot of responsibility to maintain, and obviously a fan following to please. For Chazmak Gaming today, they come in with less of that strain and that weight on their shoulders. If they can get these drafts right, and have done their homework in that respect, to see through the cracks,
2 секунды. По ихним прогнозам. Сун! Какие точные прогнозы, аж выдыхаюсь.
Chazmak EU is a strong team, but we are confident of winning. That came from Kenji here, and you can't blame this team. They've been the best because they've beaten the best. In MSI, it was Team Keizo, then STMM with a 3-1 result, and as we mentioned earlier, a win against SK Gaming. It's not the first time this Zeta Division 1 team has been pitted against the rest of the world. For Chazmak, it is a baptism of fire. And again, if it goes wrong for them here, they're going home.
But the scariest thing about Zeta Division 1 for me is the fact that their best performance was in October. They didn't drop a single set, which means coming into the World Finals.
Они говорят, что в октябре ни разу не просрали ни одного сета. Поэтому за них много голосов.
Their best performance was back in April of this year, and they've had a bit of a trying time, but they've had a little bit of a chance to breathe and reflect upon the year and to look back at where things didn't go quite so right for them.
Говорит, что у них не очень хорошо. Деваешь ли в последнее время?
Goliath, Chazmak Gaming EU, because again, this matchup, I'm sure to many, may seem like that David and Goliath story.
Sure.
But if they can prevail and move forwards and leave Zeta Division 1 in the dust, I'm sure that going into other days, people will be looking upon this in a very different light.
Again, this team, 9 points was what they managed to get into World Finals qualification with. Again, we have a lot of representatives from the EMEA region because
Самое интересное, что они по-любому деньги получат. Все из них.
Depth of talent on these particular teams. And again, like this team sort of believes that they benefited really greatly from our move this year towards a pick and ban system. They felt like that allowed them to get a good.
Насколько скучно было, он себя переименовал, я этого даже не заметил. Да? Швабра.
If they have that last pick, that pick number 6, we get to see some really interesting strategies, potentially bringing in tanks when there otherwise wouldn't be any counters. They might be relying on that in some of these sets to get the drop on Zeta Division 1. My question is, just what kind of
Написали бы 1000 часов, все.
been exposed to, been prepared for. How easy is it going to be, or rather how difficult to pull the wool over this team's eyes? Because I get the feeling you have to get up pretty early in the morning to pull one over on Chitampo and his mates.
Yeah, we were saying earlier, he can basically play Brawl with his eyes closed, can't he? I mean, you know, with Zeta Division 1, it's a really interesting style to the draft because you are forced to make that decision of, do I want to ban the meta, or do I want to ban what Zeta Division 1 are best with?
Вот ему карту показали с газиком. Газики. Газик за мышкой гоняется, у которой во рту крыса. Во рту сыр, крыса, боже.
The side of Zeta Division 1. Again, we're going to be playing knockout first. It's going to be out in the open. Again, a really curious map, right? Because their left lane for both teams is kind of cut off unless you're playing Eve or something with that utility. Let's talk Brock, though. He's picked first.
I love that pick. Breaking open the mid very early on with the rocket fuel and allowing your team to get really quickly into the map and in your lanes. Eve band, I think it's a smart move.
А можно вопрос, а какого черта здесь четвертый делает? У них 3, у этих 4. Типа, что за черт?
And actually, Zeta Division 1 banning Max for me is a real thing to point out because you know, a lot of what we saw in the last year's World Finals from Zeta was primarily utilizing Max's speed. Sharpshooters are all the flavor for Chazmak as Pipe is their first pick.
Chazmak respect as well. That Otis ban is probably targeted at Chitampo, who often picks that one up in his region and looks absolutely frightening as a duelist.
Да.
Really not much you can do once you get
Не всех.
So you can't ban all the sharpshooters. That is quite clear.
В чистом поле эта карта. По-моему.
Looking for a bit of map control to be picked up.
Yeah, I quite like how this is shaping up so far for Chazmak, and now Zeta Division 1 a chance to respond. I do love the idea of Bell here. I think Bell is in a fantastic spot, or Penny. I think they're having something to apply some pressure, some control, like that Penny turret could go quite a long way here. But that tick is going to be vulnerable on the side of Chazmak as well, and they know that they've
Блин, дали бы субтитры, я бы вам переводил, честное слово. Я английский знаю на ура. Правда, чуть-чуть надо потренировать на слух без субтитров. Так было бы хорошо.
This pick for Chitampo, he has not lost a set when he has picked Carl. He is 6-0 when he's gone for that brawler. Fantastic mid-range with also that all-in.
Честно, я думаю, что победить либо Z1, либо Нави. Это мое субъективное мнение, вам решать. Кто у вас фаворит? Потому что, как много я слушаю, а как их Виктор хвалит, точнее, я понимаю, что что-то это самое. Либо перехваливает, либо действительно хорошо так играют.
Extremely powerful right now. We know that with that star power, Gero is going to be able, or whoever's playing the Gus is going to be able to apply also that damage boost to whoever receives the shield. So in clutch moments, that's going to be absolutely crucial.
Брока бы ты не взял, у эти первые пикают, поэтому у них Брока заменили газиком. Так, начинается катка. Ну, Джин тут топ. Джин топ, да, согласен. Карл, Джин. Мы сюда еще кого-то брали. Это было на ИСПе как раз. Bad Randoms ИСПа была. Не помню как... Ну, вы можете посмотреть повтор. Это конец июля. Мы там кого-то еще брали, не помню. Носок, может, ты подскажешь? Кого мы там брали? Я помню, мы вот этих двоих точно пикали. Да, Ева. Не, ну Еву мы точно сегодня брали. А, ну да, вроде бы, я не помню. Скорее всего, реально Еву.
Long way, but I feel like Chazmak do need to get out of this one a little bit. The shield there popped, and now he pushes on and gets the takedown on Kenji.
The gadget activation there from Naui was huge. Oh, that extra damage from the spirit, and there it is.
Всё. Первый сет он слил.
Goku's low. Spooky goes to come out, but it's not enough, and Chazmak get one on the board early.
А так хорошо для синих и шло.
This is what I wanted to see from Chazmak because they need to get some early momentum against this particular matchup. Let's see now. Left-hand side lane, but look at the flying hook.
Да.
Vspomnил.
Вспомнил.
Beautiful stuff, and what a different game this is from the last one.
Тогда и зародилась Роза Соло, кстати.
Goku closes the gap and that magic hand's available, but it won't be needed to take down Gero. And 3 versus 1 now. Noe has to try and hang on. They're baiting out that gadget activation, it feels. And it's a matter of time now. So hard to win from this position. Zeta, even it up.
Они, наверное, матерят, кто первый умер. Я согласен с тобой полностью. Не Ярик.
But what a great response. Honestly, that is what is so scary about Zeta. They treat every round as if it's a fresh new one.
Ух, сюда!
Oh, beautiful stuff there from Chitampo.
Кстати, он на не снизу. Отлично! Молодцы!
It feels like Zeta took that first round personally and came back fighting. And that is what Chazmak have got to be so cautious around. They've got to make sure to just keep it slow and patient like they did in that first round. And I love it. You can just see the energy.
Ярик, напиши сообщение.
You know, they can feel that first set potential there for them if they can just keep themselves going.
That's the one thing about Chazmak's composition arc. They can struggle sometimes if they get dove on, and that flying hook is big to allow Chitampa to advance. Some environmental destruction here by Kenji, and again, Zeta look to encourage.
Роза Соло. Я же говорю, поэтому там и зародилась Роза Соло.
It is going to restrict the movement, of course, as well. Now he's fitting in a little bit more into Goku, who's going to be earning that magic hand shortly. But this is where we saw Chazmak in that first round really start.
Носок, перестань переименовываться.
But I do like this position. It's a stronghold here for Zeta.
That's going to keep Kenji quiet for a bit. Gero getting a lot of value.
И что я-то? Плагиатор хренов.
Now he's extremely low, trying to stave Chitampo off.
Все, туда. Первый раунд выигран. Ярик, ты ничего не заметил, да? Ну ладно, бывают в жизни огорчения.
They can taste this set going their way, but can we see some resolve? Can we see something from Chazmak to be able to put a stop to this potential inevitability here? Healing path's much needed there. Go Goku and just
Ярик.
take it slow and steady yet again and ready to explode surely in the near moment.
Я так, по-моему, кого-то из друзей тоже скамил, по-моему, Носка. Либо Носка, либо кого-то еще, не помню. Воу-воу, вот видели Манстика на Броке? Это просто, это лучше. Какой Ярик модератор? Где Ярик модератор? Никаких Яриков модераторов не видел. Кто это такой вообще? Туда тебя Носок, понял.
I feel it's the strength of this Zeta comp. As soon as he goes in, that's when Chazmak gets stirred. But there's a lot of utility on the side of Chazmak that can't be denied. Ultimately, a nice gush shield will go a long way here. Ruma just keeping the ticket in the miss. Pull could be costly.
Yeah, that one pulls up a little bit short here. Chitampa realizes he can't go in, so he tailspins on his own side of the map.
Шел нафиг, у меня на такие слова стоит ограничение. У меня на проверку все слова идут сразу на стримах. Слева что-то говорит, там справа молчат.
Gero just going to keep hold of the super as well and just time it perfectly. Bravo goes low. Okay, the last one just in time.
And here's the thick head coming in. A lot of health on that, but it's still going to be removed. The gas now is going to begin to encroach. Chitampo's in trouble. He's pinched on.
Oi.
Now he finds the kill, but it's going to be traded back. Rama in the gas. He can't get out. Poppin has to be used as Gero is a last
Туда!
but it's not gonna be enough.
Первый сет закончил.
Start on the strong foot.
This is where that experience really comes in to play, keeping that cool composure when much needed, because I've got to say, that was not nearly, I feel,
Туда.
one-sided as many at home were thinking coming in. Chazmak really stood their ground, and I think they stood it well.
Again, they've taken great opportunities to punish that aggression from
Реплей. Наконец-то они начали писать, что это реплей.
the go signal. As soon as there's a magic hand that gets connected, Shitape wants to follow it up there. You see, it works perfectly. He doesn't even have to go aggressive with that flying hook. Good energy here from Zeta Division 1, but I love the fight from Chazmak so far. This may not be nearly as one-sided, like you said, as we had anticipated.
Yeah, I would love to see a set.
О, кстати, пин работает, ребятки. Пин вернули, и пин работает. Работал. Уже пропал. Я его только что заметил. Возможно, его на 5 секунд поставили.
The pride of Poland giving a good account of themselves here in this first match so far. But Zeta Division 1 always a threat, always looking quite scary. Knockout there, again, ends up being very, very close. You talked a lot about seeing Gus, more so in Zeta Division scrims, right? Looks like they're not the only team that's started to pick him up and really get him involved. There's a lot of value you can get, and I love the gadget use, of course, blowing up those, blowing up the ghosts there, able to get that extra damage if someone is too cocky and starts to walk over them. Good start here from Chazmak, but it's going to take more than this, more than pluckiness.
Туда этого носка.
Yeah, this is the thing, and you know, with Chazmak, they just got to shake off that defeat very, very quickly and just kind of treat things fresh. I think that, you know, just a lot of the mentality that comes into play when you're faced off against a team like Zeta Division 1 is just believing that you can get the victory, believing that, you know, you're going
Минута
against
50
someone that
секунд.
isn't
Мне
Zeta
кажется, это
Division 1,
обман.
and just keeping it like that in your mind, and, you know, healthy mentality goes a long, long way.
Смешно сказал Ярик.
One of Zeta Division 1's
Не
best
шути так
maps.
больше.
It's a 71% win rate over the course of their monthly finals appearances, so a map they're pretty comfortable on, but it's pretty native to many Brawl players here, and you expect Chazmak to have some ideas. Interesting to see the kind of brawlers that we saw banned out.
Блин, у Ярика 6 видео, 1 подписчик, вообще жалко. Бедный Ярик.
We know Otis is extremely powerful, right? Just not something that Chazmak seem to want to deal with in general. We are moments away from heading, of course, into our second set here. Of course, Hard Rock Mine will be the battlefield.
One of my favorites is a fantastic gem grab mode map to have, and very, very balanced in that respect.
Так, гем-грабик.
It really is. It's been around for such a long time.
Сколько сетов вообще?
All love it. Those lanes are where the aggression is going to take form, so I like the stew ban for Chazmak there, but it does still leave the door wide open there for Rico to come in. It's normally an early pick, but not necessarily. That mid as well, going to be an important decision. Who is going to be the gem carrier? Otis for Chazmak, and they were banning it out in the previous set, so again, a very, very strong one. So this is where Zeta really double down. That idea, I feel like the here works very, very well in the mid, or
Я доска просто бани на всех его аккаунтах.
He's a monster in one of those side lanes. And that's might can also catch you off guard if you think you're safe hiding behind some form of cover, and those deployables also can be removed by that. Both teams banning at the penny. By the way, no one really has to deal with that. Salty Barrel has really turned her into so much more of a powerhouse now, really being able
Может, он мне что-то в Дискорде захочет сказать, нет? У него, по-моему, еще аккаунты есть. Насколько я помню. Блин, покажите карту, я слепой. Я был занят носком.
The shield as well, just going to keep that survivability level high. And they do lack the aggression though, and that is the thing, some control. I do feel like Rico would be the pick, but this is Zeta Division 1. They define the meta. It's going to be Carl yet again.
They love that mid-range presence, of course. Shitampo can operate pretty comfortably on one of those side lanes and take those duels when he has to. I'd love to see if he gets matched up here against the Otis and how that
нет,
all
аккаунтов,
plays out.
походу, у нас
We'll see
больше
how
нет,
scary
ну
he
ладно.
is. Again, his record speaks for himself. Undefeated in sets on that pick, as I mentioned already. He's 7-0 now, so definitely something to look out for here. So how do you round out this composition for Chazmak? What are you looking out for?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I would
Опять
like to
Карла
see that Rico
взяли,
on the side
боже,
lane. I'm a bit
бесит.
biased because it is one of my
Ну
favorite
да,
brawlers
Карл
here on
еще
Hard Rock
после
Mine,
обнова, он такой
gem carry
черкаш.
wise as well, okay, Max aggression. Yeah, a little bit, and it can work really well in the mid, which I assume is going to be the approach here for Chazmak. So they're going to be lacking in range touch if they do go with that idea. But ultimately, I think there's a wise decision to make. Ultimately, against a team like State Division 1, having that aggressive stance is what made them.
Больше аккаунтов не осталось, Шара.
Putting themselves against themselves effectively.
Gives them some disengage potential as well.
Число-то растет. 5. Что почему? Или ты песню поешь? Знаешь почему?
And he can obviously damage you without exposing himself to your more linear attacks from brawlers. So great pick up here, Chazmak, with some powerful brawlers.
А, почему? Советчик? Или потому что проигрывает?
Having something of a wall breaker here would deflate some of that effectiveness, some of that controlling element that Rico brings on the side of Chazmak, and Gene is going to come in, and I do love that. I mean, it's very, very similar to what we've already seen demonstrated by Zeta, so they are going to be warmed up to it, and you know, ultimately, there's a great amount of brawlers that can be effective in the mid here, but this is definitely an underrated mid on Hard Rock Mine. A lot of regions don't tend to use Gene here.
What do you think that is?
I mean, in North America, they love Piper mid. In EMEA, they love, you know, the sort of 8-bits and Bell mids, but I love the fact that Zeta are going back to roots, and this is something which I've been waiting to see for a very long time on Hard Rock Mine.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, Hard Rock Mine.
Понял.
Already some salvos being exchanged through the middle part of the map.
Понял.
Taking a little low, and yeah, Gero's going to be an absolute.
Так, пин, ребятки, пин. Так, у меня сотка первая, кстати, сейчас что-то дадут. Нажимаем на пин, не забываем. Что дают за сотку? Сотку 10 монет. Так, ну, 1/10 пути выполнена. Хорошая карта для него, но играть за него надо. Что с лицом, носок, что с лицом? Опа, кстати.
I mean, Gero there really didn't quite cut the mustard, did he? I mean, just caught off guard, didn't connect the super, got pulled in with magic hand. I think he missed the bouncy castle as well there, so definitely a bit of a miss, but still time to be able to redeem himself. The gems are split, by the way. Despite Zeta's dominance and their aggressive playstyle, Chazmak are hanging on.
Ничего не понятно, но очень интересно, но ладно. Я твои сообщения специально читать не буду. Вот и теперь живи с этим. Так, синенький, наконец-то. Хватай Максиму. Воу-воу-воу-воу-воу, what's up? Ой-ой-ой. Есть английское выражение, которое не переводится на русский красиво. How the tables have turned. Понятно. Бущенный. Понятно. Это носок по-любому. Да, это носок. Гасмайла. Да, Мазила.
You gotta have some stones to go in and clutch those gems up like that. Love that play, and we see that sometimes on gem grab, right? When you give too much of that map control up too early, you back yourself into a corner and you lose your horde.
Got to remind as well that the fact that 91% of viewers watching on event.brawlstars.com.
Как ты в 15 сентября много аккаунтов создал? Сколько их там? Ой-ой-ой, как он вернулся, а? Как он вернулся? Каким образом, а? Решил забанил настолько, что аж обосраться.
But he has all the gems right now. Not the ideal gem carrier as someone who wants to be the aggressor, so he'll stay low in his own half of the map, but he's still alive. This is unreal. Walking the knife edge of Zeta Division 1.
There's 5 gems in the pocket so far for Zeta.
Так. Пин. Пин работает, ребят. Пин работает. Нажимайте на пин. Но синие вначале просто, ну, они сваляли дурака, они расслабились. Нельзя расслабляться. Ну что там носок лицо? Давай, хорош чел, зацыганил. А сейчас опять то же самое будет, смотрите. Я отвечаю, сейчас красные выиграют.
Once again, Shitampo, not the ideal gem carrier here, but he's going to lie in wait in these bushes, try and get back to his side of the map, protect the pirouette again, going to make him a bit more durable. Rama's trying to get into the cookie jar though.
Ой, хорош, Карл лучший.
Out of control. Now we trying to salvage the situation, but it's too far gone here.
Все, хорош.
Almost all the gems to their name.
There's a bit of time to spend there for the respawn, but Gero goes down as well. Rama has no super, has no utility, has no speed, and Shitampo should be home safe and sound with a bit of body blocking there from Goku for safe measure. Now he's the last chance, he goes down. A great response from Zeta.
Николай Давыдов, это что, твой папа, что ли?
A unconventional approach, I think, in that round for Zeta Division 1. They find that Shitampo's carrying most of the gems, but he's the one they want to use to try and get the map control. I love that ninja play, sat in the bush. He had everything he needed to completely derail Chazmak.
Окей.
Okay, well, very tough score here. 3 versus 1 and does go down. That's going to allow Gero to come.
Я тебя ненадолго, я 2 раза бан дал. Там самое быстрее восстановится. Кстати, я, по-моему, мало дал бан на твой, совсем попутали, и на Дарину. Пин, ребята, пин.
Yeah, again, another miss super, and that's going to be costly as Goku gets the takedown of Naui. Rama then on the left, and he's going to try to weave his way around the place of this pressure for Kenji with the ball, and Gero goes down yet again.
And again, Shitampo carrying the gems. So I'm curious to see how this is going to change the approach now.
Нет, так ты понимаешь, у него аккаунты эти созданы давно, я смотрю о канале, там 20 августа, 15 сентября. Откуда он 100 аков создал? В один день, он что, дурачок? Он мне только, он говорил мне про 1 ак только в этот день. Ну потому что это мой друг. Блин, им надо Максима притащить домой за хлебом. Хорошая ульта от этого, от рикошета. Одобряю. Нет. Какой вот именно хлеб? Так, что там работает? И работает слишком. Да, кстати, 8 кемов, если у вас есть, не спешите на них бежать. Ой-ой-ой, лицо! Ой, как лицо сломалось, а? Ух, а вот это им сотка, ребят. Ой-ой-ой, лицо! Ой, как лицо ломается! Не успеет. Лохи. Носок бан навсегда.
on the floor, literally in the arena. And this is what I wanted to see. It felt like Chazmak deserved that set. It felt like they could have deserved the set in the first set, to be completely honest. And now we are all level. And I think that is not where people expected to see this one going.
Yeah, pretty awkward though. Like, I want to kind of talk to you about this
Блин,
kind
просрали,
of
ладно.
gem carrying that we saw a lot of the time from
Я тебя разблокировал там. Все, иди на свой этот. Я этот блокирую, иди на... Совсем попутали.
Yeah, this was the vulnerability which Chazmak really exploited. I've got to say, when Geru missed a lot of those supers, I was a bit hesitant to see how it was going to fare, but he hit them when it mattered most. And I've got to say as well, Rama was playing phenomenal. I mean, both of those countdowns were a result of the way that he was able to get the snatch out of the spawn and get running back into their spawn. Zeta Division had sort of egg on their face.
Yeah, not where they wanted to be there. Nice use of super there for Rama to be able to dive on in, find that elimination here. And yeah, I mean, no surprise to see Shitampo credited with many of these eliminations, but up front and center in the enemy's face, not where you want to be when you have 9 gems.
Exactly. Ultimately, the objective is where you've got to play, and that is a statistic which goes to show the aggressiveness of Division 1. But Chazmak were just able to get those clutch kills. Now this is going to be interesting. I've been watching Zeta Division 1 in scrims on Dueling Beetles, and they have been so fierce. I hope Chazmak have been scrutinizing it as much as I have.
Бан.
In the mid here, they are going to be a
Мозгу бан.
and it's not banned.
Промал было лишнее.
This is actually Chazmak's best game type. 86% win rate here on Hot.
Ой, хорошая карта, мне нравится.
Their home ground. Let's see how they make use of that advantage if it exists.
The first pick coming in for Zeta with the bans there of Stu, B, and it's going to be Gus coming in. I'm not surprised to see it, but they're not going to show the Poco just yet. Ruffs would be a nice one for them as well.
Сейчас Карва возьмет, если его не заблокали.
Squeak as well. Penny in the Crow band out by the side of Chazmak. Bell is a good first pick, by the way. It's a kind of safety net. It doesn't kind of give away too much too soon, and it is a very versatile brawler, especially with the reload gear now. It's
Так эти даже не блок, а нас совсем попутали.
Now Zeta want to get their hands on that brawler.
Gus and Otis picked up for them there. Moya Goku's been on Gus so far, had some fantastic use of gadget hopper, right? As soon as that ghost gets generated on hit with one of his opponents, he pops it up pretty much straight away.
Ну, мне нравится, там, если нормально, из-за нормальных пиков играть, там, если взять Лу... Вот если, чё эти дураки Лу не берут? Тут же Лу не запрещен, алло! Возьмите Лу, бо! Ну, реально.
It can just provide that time that you need on the zone to really trickle down the timer and make the most of the objective.
Open up some of those sight lines for Rama as well with air superiority, right? You do have some wall break potential if you want to go in that direction. And it's a very serviceable side lane brawler, if you want to take them there. Yeah, plus, I mean, a curious one. I mean, that definitely benefits from grouping up, but so does Pam. Love to see that come in here.
Если ты хочешь, чтобы я тебе что-то посоветовал, зайди ко мне в DS-сервер. Если ты сможешь, ну, короче, там поговорим с тобой в Дискорде. Добавь меня в друзья, в Дискорде сервер, в описании, там поговорим с тобой после стрима. Либо завтра. Да, я же говорил, Карл будет. А, так тут 5 сетов. Если они 2 подряд выиграют, то зашибись будет, да? Так, каточка началась.
Shitampo wants to start to get some of that first little capture progress down.
Пин работает, ребят.
Shitampo though pretty well unperturbed. Moya Goku really wants to close the gap on Naui as much as possible. He's looking out for Scrap Sucker, but another gadget activation from Rama. But he goes the way of the Weary first.
Good start for Zeta, and the fat splatter is popped there by Moigoku, quite obviously so, and he's going to place it down on the left-hand side. Chitampa going in, and going to get that takedown onto Rama. That's going to delay the onset of these spawns.
Я бы сюда взял бы... Так, доступна награда, А, понял, это не туда. Это мне с опозданием пришло. Я бы взял сюда Лубо. И если бы не было запикнуто Пенни, у них была запикнута Пенни, взял бы Пенни. Ну, либо какого-то танка, потому что Лу либо Бо достаточно. Сюда Лу берется. Карла бы я бы так и оставил. Ну... Не знаю. Может, даже того же Габса взял, либо Отиса. Тоже пик неплохой. Но сюда без этого... Без Ву плохо, по моему мнению.
Nestek thrown down here just in case the aggression comes, but Chitampo's able to go around it, and the positive feedback's not enough to keep Jiro up.
Yeah, a great time to do it. He knows exactly where it is.
Но у них 60%, им волноваться не о чем, хоть у них сейчас и отжали, они легко отобьют просто.
60% now for Zeta, and pushing forwards with the shield pop there from Kenji. Keru is going to struggle because he does get the mark landed, but now he goes down himself, and this is going to be a tough spot. Zeta are still holding on.
None of that cover left now, but
Хорош.
try and hold their ground. It's going to be a healing station on the left-hand side, but Chitampo will not be denied. That's two eliminations.
Все, это ГГ. Первый матч третьего сета они выиграли налегко. И именно матч, не сет.
And I feel like maybe it's the time to start banning that particular brawler against this very team.
Hands on hips there for Chitampo. He says, can't believe we're in this situation. We gotta focus up a little bit here after dropping that second set. That looked pretty dominant. So no take cover, no sandbags for the roughs here. It's actually that
Представляете, есть люди, которые играют указательными пальцами на телефоне. Я вообще в шоке. Недавно узнал, вообще офигел от жизни.
Moigoku low, and Kenji is going to be pushing now from the right, and now he's got to take care of that.
He is so durable though, but eventually damage comes in from too many different angles.
Зачем он себе лицо раскрывает, конечно.
They've been focusing Brawl down so hard. Every time he appears, Chitampo is beeline for that rush.
It's a great pairing, isn't it, between Kenji and Chitampo? You know, getting that shield in, and just.
Им уже лень было, кстати, звук для Отиса придумать разбивание гаджета. Просто взяли атаку Барли. Кстати, Отиса пофиксили в хорошую сторону. Теперь его шульта наносит урон. Это и в прошлом было, но я об этом до этого не знал. Ну отлично. В принципе, мне на основном аккаунте камеры выбить это легко будет в конце с Brawl пасса. Там уже можно будет просто любого брать. Блин, ну а тут не знаю, я даже готов просто. Я даже думаю, что, кстати, да, по-моему, пин работает, да. Я думаю, даже в этом раунде выиграет. Сейчас их прикручу. Я думаю, в этом раунде даже выиграет этот красный, короче. Гейминг Wii.
Absolutely dirty. Euro can't even stand up, but now Zeta Division 1 can make up that deficit.
If Chitampa gets super, it's a guaranteed kill, if not 3 back-to-back, isn't it really? It's just applying so much pressure. As a great mute there from Moigoku. Keeps there, the low, now he's so low, and the pickup is now 3 versus 1. It's just Zeta Division clearing house.
Ошибся, я. Не работает пока шопин. Я буду нажимать, мало ли они тут специально в конце сделают, чтобы работало. Нет, не работает.
That map and mode just for them is just like icing on the cake. They welcome it, they really do. Chasmak had a much better game though. We got to hand it to them. They did learn from some of their mistakes, and that is what it takes to beat a team like Zeta Division 1. They've got to hold on to that as well now, because ultimately, you know, they've got to harness it. They've got to remember that they're not invincible. They've already gained a set, but it's not over yet.
There's a chance that teams playing against Zeta Division 1 have to start banning the Carl. Protective Pirouette obviously reduces damage taken by 35%, and then the Gus Super Shield on him makes him... It's like Frank. Yeah, Frank running in there, spinning, just laying about himself there. That is absolutely scary to deal with. And you know, Shitampo wasn't afraid to run straight at Pam. She was on a healing field. She had Mama Squeeze. Didn't matter. Just run in there and find that elimination. He cannot be stopped when he has that supportive utility behind him. And what a dominant way to say, hey, we're Zeta Division 1. We're not playing around anymore.
Yeah, Zeta were throwing everything at that, including the kitchen sink. I mean, you know, there was so much potential in Chazbak's comp to really kind of counter some of those ideas. It didn't matter. You know, that is really quite a scary prospect, because now, being at this stage in terms of sets, Chazbak are probably wondering, what do we have to do? You know, I think for me, the time is now to start banning Carl. They're really kind of giving in to Zeta on what they want. They've played it in every single set so far. Okay, they gained a set themselves, but it was a lot to do with the fact that they timed those kind of gem snatches when it was the right time.
There's some awkward moments with, you know, whoever was carrying the gems in some of those maps. In fact, that it wasn't Shitampo that got picked up to actually give them the win. They went straight after Kenji, I think, on the Gene there. So Carl obviously
нас то неплохо отыграли, если геймграб грабу выживут, то тогда будет зашибись. И не придется и пятый сет смотреть. Но если сейчас выиграют четвертый красный, вот этот сет, ну, это самое мост. Здесь, в принципе, пики стандартные. Здесь лучше всего брать Кольта, Брока и Поко. Поко пускаете с Кольтом либо Броком, вообще без разницы. Ну, поскольку тут Брока кикнули, я же говорю, Поко, Кольт, по-любому. Я понял. Да тут не только ты зашел в Дискорд. Тут два человека зашло в Дискорд. Это ты, фанатери? Ярик, это ты? Это ты?
Well, again, it's going to have a great deal of utility to get across the lanes with the flying hook, and that's the thing here why it's going to be a great brawler to have as that first.
Так, надеюсь, с микрофоном все нормально, то я его тут дергаю туда-сюда. Может, вообще сейчас на кровать ляжу. Микрофон длинный, в принципе, позволяет.
Those later picks, I think B would be a good shout here, simply in the eventuality for Daryl. You know, Bonnie coming in is not a bad shout as well, and you know, keeping some, you know, momentum shift. You've got to keep going in on the safe. It's great to have that control. If you're not getting objective damage, you're not going to win.
Plenty of all-in options here for Zeta Division 1 if they want to go that route. Just sort of rush the safe once they find that they have that sort of brawler advantage. Bonnie obviously great in her modality. She's got pretty decent range, and when she wants to get her hands dirty, she can do that pretty comfortably as well. Chazbak so far with a relatively safe-looking draft. I want to see if they
так, что тут? Пикают.
Bell's sort of ability to hold the enemy at range or something up in your face.
I like it, I really do, but they've got to consider the potential of the counter now.
Понял.
Yes, exactly that, and Zeta have got that final pick, so I think they've kind of got to pair this with B. I mean, that's just kind of my opinion, but you can get some really great value from Honey Molasses in that mid. It can actually, you know, kind of seep in and then cause a real problem, and it is going to be that. I do love this from Chazbak. It's a great decision.
All right, so pretty safe brawlers here for that long range, and then there's always the option for Daryl to get in there and get the job done. So here's the question for Zeta Division 1. Are you thinking much about trying to counter this Daryl? Is that a concern for you?
It's got to be a little bit, but Zeta are so aggressive, they might decide just to go aggressive themselves. I mean, Gale wouldn't be the worst
Так,
ideas here.
ладно, потом добавлю войс. Хотя сейчас сет пока что не начался, ребят. Пока сет не начался, я думаю, пока что можно и пока не показывать, мне тут надо добавить, блин, некоторых. Фанатери.
Yeah, I mean, denying the ability for Daryl to get out of jail as well, especially if he's getting pressured down with that super.
Так, если что, я тебя сделал на 0, фанатери, так что я тебя не слышу. Сейчас будет демка. Так, все, матч как раз начался, отлично.
Kenji fly hooking straight into that high ground. I do like that. Rama solo already, but the damage.
Так, пин работает, ребят. Нажимаем на пин. Так, ну старт хороший, они уже 14% снесли. Ого, уже почти 20.
The Honey Molasses is a problem in the middle lane, so I like the Zeta Division 1, they adapt, they try and collapse on this right side, but this might work against them. Now he's encroaching. Kenji is able to get back a little bit there and put some pressure down, but Rama will approach as well. Forces Kenji away, but Moyogoku's going to work on the safe.
Ребят, сейчас вообще непонятно, что с электричеством, поэтому здесь у меня нету никакого-то конкретного графика. Летом был, сейчас нету какого-то конкретного. Не знаю, завтра точно будет и послезавтра точно. В понедельник не могу обещать. У меня онлайн-школа, но и там быстро уроки проходят. Как только домашки сделаю, дополнительно позанимаюсь, туда сразу смогу сделать, что захочу. Ну все, это ГГ для красных. Первый матч 4-го сета слитый.
Difficulty is as well is that Gary's got to start to get that amplified shot connected to the safe and keep juggling that between player and safe. Ultimately, the B shots are not too effective. Oh, beautiful placement there on the net stack as Kenji is caught off guard.
Yeah, Rama even marks Kenji just to make sure that damage is going to stick. Chitampo out of cannon right now. No Clyde to the body. And I'll be back up in no time. It's a huge lead.
На сейф даже этот жучок же кидается, все ГГ.
Oh, you've got to respect that. Otis sneaking his way into your side of the map.
Zeta now, one game away, and
и сейчас они выиграют сет 4, еще одна победа, и все. Это ГГ. Наконец-то наш прогноз сбудется, и мы получим свои очки. Самое прикольное, что это все проходит в лайв режиме. Мне кажется, либо они как-то быстро стреляют. Биа особенно, это реально спамят очень сильно. Так, ребятки, пин работает.
Chazmak a little bit slower to push forwards. Now he's trying to get into a good spot on the right. Rama coming through on the left as well, trying to find the angle there onto Shitampu. And now he's got a great pick up there from Gary from the mid. And now some damage starting to roll in.
Ой-ой-ой, плохая ульта от этого.
Really keeping Zeta Division 1 busy on that right-hand lane, so Chazmak can start to apply pressure by the left and middle. Gero, though, in deep trouble. Not much he can do about that as Shitampu wants to ignore Rama. He wants to push forward now. He's going all in.
Ой, хорош.
The connection, but now he and Rama survive. Moyogoku's got to consider hitting this mute, and he's actually just whistling Rama down there, which is really great for him, but now he's lurking. They're ready and waiting for that roll to come in, and they're not pushing forward.
Второй гаджет уже слил на защиту чисто. Ну она... бывает в жизни огорчение, Ярик, ладно, давай.
This is much better, honestly, from Chazmak. They're just taking it a bit slower and working their way through the problems. But Shitampo is that problem right now. Kenji picking up the slack as now he has got to finalize this lane.
Kenji out in the open there, no chance to get back to his side of the map. It is a slim lead for Zeta Division 1, but a lead all the same. Rama getting the better of this lane assignment. Moyogoku really would prefer to deal with Naui. He needs to not get too close to that safe. The damage is bouncing, and now he goes in, pushing on the right-hand side. He finds two.
Так, сейчас пару секунд. Я сейчас, короче, стрим перезапущу, чтобы все было. Ребятки, сейчас я стрим перезапущу.